Hi, my name is Anthony Kerrigan. Today we're going to film a video on how to rent out your property and what makes a property legal when you're renting it out. Now there are a number of things that you need to consider when you're renting a property. The first and I guess most important is whether you have permission to rent it. You need to own the property. If you have a mortgage on that property, more than likely you need to consult your mortgage provider, whether it be bank or building society, for permission to rent from them. Now most companies will give you this permission, but some may refuse if you've previously been a bad payer, and they may put additional charges on that regarding interest rates and or a administration charge. I guess the next thing you might need to do is consult your insurance provider and make sure that you are correctly insured. One of the most important things a landlord should do is have something called a property owner's liability. Property owner's liability will cover you if there's an accident in the property to you or to one of your guests, such as a tile falling off the roof and hurting or killing somebody, and or other problems with gas or electrics overriding. Now, in respect of gas and electricity, it has been a requirement for some time, and most people understand this, that you need to get a gas safety record done on the property. This used to be overseen by a company called Kerrigans. It's now overseen by Gas Safe. And once a year all appliances and the meter installation need inspecting. Now these records need to be kept very safe, and if you have work done ongoing on a property, then you also need to make sure that that's all kept in a nice neat little file just in case you ever ask for it at some point in the future. We also need to get the electrical appliance and installation tested. Now this is something that's a bit of a bone of contention, because you speak to some letting agents, they will tell you that this is something that is not mandatory. Well, it is mandatory, it's black and white, and the appliance needs testing by a competent electrician. What's slightly grey about the law is what defines a competent electrician. But unless you yourself work within that trade, I would suggest a competent electrician is someone that is NICI registered. Following on from that, we also need a document called an EPC, or an Energy Performance Certificate. This has been a legal requirement of all properties that are rented since 2007. These days, the majority of properties that have been rented for a little while already have an EPC, but if you don't, then it's something that needs arranging from scratch. An Energy Performance Certificate will tell the end user or the occupier how efficient that property is. It is only a rough estimation. It is we all call it in the trade a bit of a guess, really. Because it doesn't give an accurate comparison of what somebody might pay for gas and electricity. I guess because we don't really know how much gas or electric they're going to use in terms of how big their family is. The documents run out every 10 years, and so the first ones that were done in 2007 will need renewing within the next 2 years. Something that's just come in but has been debated within at government level for the last 20 or so years is the need for smoke alarms and carbon monoxide alarms. Now when I first started this job within this industry in 1993, they were talking about smoke alarms, and they're wishy-washed around for, well, 22 years now. But it is now a requirement of law that we have smoke alarms, a smoke alarm each floor, and a carbon monoxide alarm within rooms where carbon monoxide could be generated, where your boiler or where fires are. Another recent introduction is the need for a Legionella risk assessment. Most domestic properties do not pose a significant Legionella risk to their occupants, but 5% of all water has Legionella in it. Now, this is something quite serious, and the government have debated this and decided that the best way of doing this is for us all to understand the risk associated with Legionella. If your letting agent is good, then this is something they might be able to do for you in-house. Other than that, they will need to go to an external contractor. I've seen fees for this from 50 quid to 175 pounds, so be careful. Now, in respect of, I suppose, all the legislation, in years gone by, the average clever landlord more than likely could have rented their property out themselves. But there has been 3,000 different bits of legislation change, improvement within the last 5-year Parliament. Now, you know, a clever man once said, you don't know what you don't know. In other words, if you don't know there's been a change to legislation, how do you know whether you're doing the right thing? You really need a licensed member of FARLA to deal with a property for you. Even some of the other governing bodies do not have the same level of input, education, mentoring that FARLA do. So as you look around for a letting agent, have a look around for the FARLA logo, and it's something that will benefit you, your property, your tenants. I hope you found this video useful. Keep watching for future updates. My name's Anthony Kerrigan.